What's going on, guys? Welcome to Car Confessions. Give me just a second as I am inviting a special guest in here. So I come to you guys each and every week, typically on Mondays at 12 o'clock, to give you some and discuss some type of sales topic, tip, or tactic, as well as alternate some interviews with small business owners and entrepreneurs. And I do this to see what sets them apart from everybody else, from somebody that punches a clock from 9 to 5 and just does the daily grind. I do this on Mondays, fresh off the weekend, to give you guys some type of information or topic to give you time to research between now and when you're in the market. So whether that be this coming week, the following week, whatever the case may be, I put out a call. There he is. Justin, what's up, man? I put out a call on Facebook for small business owners and entrepreneurs, typically not in the same industry that I'm in. After talking with Justin, he is a man on a mission, and I had to get him on the podcast here, so let me work on bringing him in. All right. Justin, it's not allowing me to bring you in, man. Are you on your phone or are you on your laptop? Yeah, won't let me do it on the laptop. So try your phone, and we'll go from there. If you guys hear the noise in the background, it is not an air raid. They are just testing the tornado sirens. Testing the tornado.
Matt Hatter, what's up, brother?
What's going on, man? Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you all right. How are you today, brother?
I'm doing awesome, man.
Hell yeah.
I come to work ready to go. So I will kind of let you take over and kind of introduce yourself to everybody else. Tell them who you are and what you do.
All right. Well, my name's Justin Schroeder. I work in the automotive industry. I've been a sales manager, business manager, general sales manager, salesman. I've done this over a decade. And as an entrepreneur and as a person that wants to help change the industry and change how we deal with day-to-day basis with our leadership, that has constantly, for the most part, 97% of our dealerships beat us down. They lead with ego and compliance, and they don't know what it is to lead from commitment. And I'm here to change that.
That's awesome. So what is it about this, or why is it that you've accepted the responsibility and you've just taken the reins to take this mission on and try to change it?
Well, Matt, to be honest with you, I've been through a lot of leadership courses. I've been through in the automotive industry. I've been through the Joe Verde courses. I've been through the Grant Cardone courses. I've taken just about every sales training that there is. And every time I go to one of these seminars, we spend, out of a 3-day seminar, we spend 2 3/4 days talking about numbers and how to increase profits, more sales. And you spend a quarter day about leadership, because there is no content with it. People don't, it's been transcended down. And I truly believe there's 3 forms of leadership. You've got your internal leadership of how you lead yourself. how you lead your family, how you lead yourself as a husband and a father, which is I'm neither. So, I mean, I'm still working on that game, but there's also external leadership, how you lead others that are within your command, I guess is the way I would put it, that are your subordinates, how you treat them, how you empower them, how you get them to believe so much in themselves that they'll do anything for you. And then there's that transcendence leadership of those skills that are passed down as we groom the new leaders, new managers that come into this industry. And all too often I see a compliance-based leadership of ego, of glory days, of how they were learned how to be leaders. And as it transcended down throughout the last couple of decades, you look at your guys that were cutthroat in the 80s and 90s, how it transcended down in that into the 2000s, how a decade later, where we are now in 2018, dealing with the same thing that we've been dealing with for 30 years within this industry. So,
yeah, I hear that, man.
I mean, come on, be honest with me here. We've all had that manager. That's the guy that's like, well, when I was a 20-car guy, you know, that lives in his glory days, that lives in his ego, that is typically fat as hell and out of shape and probably doesn't get any respect at home, who then comes into the dealership where the only source of power he has is his title and beats it down upon his salespeople and just drives the whole energy right into the dirt. I mean, tell me, have you ever walked into a restaurant, Matt, and just felt like a bad energy, like the waitress like didn't smile at you as you walked in, and like she just hates your job, and there's no, you know, there's no aura or happiness going on around there?
100%.
Tell me that doesn't affect your experience.
Oh, it does. I've had both ends of the spectrum of, you know, the negative waitress where it just, that waitress brings you down when you're there with your spouse or with your family, and they just bring you down and their mood affects you. But on the other side of that, I've had people that went above and beyond. Not only did they get tipped better because of their attitude, but the whole meal, the whole dinner was better because of their attitude and their mentality.
Absolutely. I think one thing that a lot of managers and leaders forget within this industry is they put forth the goal on you. I mean, here, what's your current goal at your dealership? As far as a dealership in a whole, what is your current goal of how many units you as a dealership wants to move per month?
They would like us to do 88 per month, which breaks down to 11 per salesperson.
Okay. So you guys do have a vision,
which is the nationwide average.
Right. The average guy is 8 to 10 cars. So I mean, the vision is there. Let me ask you this: what's the environment when you walk in? Like, as far as what your managers put forth, do they promote? Does everybody in that dealership know that 88 is the road that everybody wants to be to?
For the most part, I think so. Okay. We do have a new guy. He's still doing a lot of heavy training. So I'm not sure if he is been told that or up to that speed quite yet, because he's still going through a lot. This is his second week, I believe.
Okay. Well, Matt, talked about the 3 C's of leadership, and that's content, that's competence, and that's character. And what that boils down to is the content we're putting out, the content that you're doing right now in this Facebook Live, you know, is putting out, you know, not only self-promotion for you, but for your dealership, and it's doing it in an amazing light. If you're not getting kudos from your managers, man, kudos to you for doing this. Thank you. But also with that too, you've got the competence. You understand what it is to serve, and in order for you to be a great leader, at some point we had to be a great follower. Now, you're a veteran as well, right?
I am.
Okay, so when we're in the military, it was led by compliance, right? You will do this, or
Absolutely.
but at the same time too, we had many competent leaders and we had many incompetent leaders. And that competency of those leaders that we believed in were the ones that got us our next rank, that got us an amazing evaluation performance report, that got us, you know, everything we needed to succeed. Right. And then we all saw, you know, the 10-year staff sergeant with the beer belly that, you know, it wasn't your six pack. It's like, here's your keg, you know, who didn't have that competence, who, you know, somehow worked his way through the system up to the top. And I think, you know, we still deal with that in our industry today. But along with that, too,
absolutely,
the character, the trustworthiness, the ability to take issues to your leadership and know that it's actually going to get handled. I think that's a big issue that we have in this day and in this time, and that's trustworthiness and trustworthiness of the people above us. And to me, those three characteristics, I don't care about charisma. And I've had charismatic leaders, and they've done nothing to get me in trouble. I definitely feel that these are the three core issues that we deal with in our industry. And Dr. Richard Pimentel, I mean, I think he said it best. What is our responsibility? Your responsibility to that new guy. What is your responsibility? Well, in all reality, responsibility is two words put together: response and ability. And you have the ability to help lead him, to help groom him, to help keep him positive when those days where he's not making a sale or he's not closing the sale. What is your response to that ability? Through your content, through your competency, through your character.
I mean, that's deep, man. I mean, I have been more hands-on with the new guy than some of the other salesmen, because I just hit 2 years at doing this. So
you know what it's
everybody
like?
else has been doing it. Yeah, I still remember what it's like starting out and to struggle and just go through the trenches every day, and especially at the previous dealership where I was at, where, you know, required to do phone calls and call people that I've never met, I never sold, and you just get hung up on and hung up on and hung up on, and you're not getting any wins. That's just beating you down even more and not building up your confidence level. So you need some small wins along the way.
Absolutely. Some single hits that make it worth it to the next base.
Yeah, absolutely, 100% agree. And I mean, for me, it was easier being former military,
right?
Because you just embrace the suck. That's what you do. You adapt, overcome, and adjust.
Absolutely. You know, I think one thing that we can relate to, because I've dealt with it, and I know you have as well, but I say 100%. A leader leads from his feet, not in his seat. And the guy that leads at 30,000 feet above, that tracks your phone calls and tracks everything, but yet doesn't get out of the seat to come sit down with you one-on-one and make that phone call to groom you, to show you, hey, this is how it's done, and it can be done. And the relentless ability to be able to sit there and tell, as a leader, and you could get hung up on as a manager just as many times, but to sit there and show him that it takes resiliency to actually push through. I mean, man, that speaks volumes.
I agree, and that was one of the things that transitioned over from the military world with me to the civilian world, is never asking somebody to do something I wasn't willing to do myself. And that was always huge for me, is I never asked any of my soldiers while I was in the Army to do anything I wasn't prepared or ready to do at any given time.
Right. I remember getting smoked as a young airman going through tech school. And I remember my instructor being face to face with me on the ground as we pushed Texas to China. And when I got done, I asked him, I was like, why were you doing push-ups with me? He goes, I'll never ask you to.
Oh, looks like I lost him. Let me get him back in here.
Matt, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries, man. That's part of this is live. This is real. This is raw.
It's
Shit
relevant.
happens.
Absolutely. So back when, like I was saying, I asked, my instructor, asked him, why were you doing push-ups with me? And he said, I'll never ask you to do something that I'm not willing to do myself. If I'm not down here pushing Texas to China with you, what does that say on my behalf? So,
Exactly.
I mean, I took that away just as much as you did. So, I'm here on a mission. I'm here to rewrite how things are done. How, like I said, it's cool. Everybody can have a vision. You can want to sell 200 cars a month at a dealership, but if your public doesn't know, if the consumer doesn't know, if you don't know, if you have no direction throughout the whole dealership, that's going to be a huge issue. But on top of that, I mean, it's great to be able to have that vision, but do you have the capability to create a work environment like we were talking about with the waitress? When you walk in, everybody's smiling. Everybody wants to be there. Everybody is there to give it their 100% that day because they're empowered, not because they're beat down.
Exactly. So what is it that how are you going to start changing the leadership? What is it that you're gonna do? What steps you're gonna take?
Well, currently right now I'm in the development of writing a course curriculum. There will be an online availability for this course, and on top of it, there will be an availability to reach out to me to work one-on-one through development and coaching. And that goes not just on the level of your dealership, that also goes to personal within, because I can't expect to lead somebody if I can't even lead myself. If I can't get out of bed in the morning and make my bed, and I can't get out of the morning and meditate like I need to meditate, if I can't journal like I need to journal, and I can't develop myself through self-study, and I don't have my day let out, and I don't have my day planned out, I've already failed myself in a leadership sense. How can I take that and transcend it down to the next person? So there's two facets of that we'll be working on. Of course, throughout this course development is internal leadership, internal betterment, and then of course, along with that too, the external benefit and how you transcend that down to the people below you.
That's awesome.
So
do you already have an outline of what you're going to do moving forward? How you're going to introduce this?
I do. I have a syllabus here that I've been working on, that I've been writing out, that it could be within the next 3 months as far as this rolling out. As far as marketing, I mean, I'm going to be exactly doing what you're doing, the utilization of social media. It is the most powerful tool out there, and it's free. It's freaking free.
Exactly.
And the more things you do, the more you push yourself into the uncomfortable, the more results you produce. And this is my first time doing something like this. And so first off, thank you. I appreciate you. And I appreciate every person that watches and follows you.
Absolutely. I appreciate you jumping on, man, because you messaged me, I think one time after you saw one of my Facebook lives, and you messaged me. I had no idea who you were, and you're like, "Hey, call me. Here's my number. I've got some advice for you that will help you out." So, taking a chance, not knowing who you were, I jumped on the phone, and you gave me some absolutely incredible advice that has helped narrow down my focus and streamline, so I concentrate with the advice you gave me of focusing on one vehicle, knowing that vehicle, and doing as much as I can with that vehicle.
Absolutely, man. I mean, personal branding.
And that's been incredible for me.
I know you as Matt in the Hat, but the general public knows you as Matt, the F-150 guy.
That's right.
That's right. And when it comes down to that personal branding, I mean, stuff ain't that difficult. We just got to think outside the box. But again, knowing how and seeing the frustration, I felt it was my obligation to transcend some successes I've had over the years and what I've seen that actually works, and hand that down like every person should. I mean, that's how this world gets better, man. It's all about the positive energy and the vibes. It's about being able to write down your goals and smash it that day.
So is there one or two tidbits or advice that you can share with us now, that's in the syllabus or that you're working on to kind of give people an idea of what's to come?
Absolutely. My number one advice to every single manager and leader out there: check your ego, leave it at the door. You're not, I mean, here, you can't live in your glory days. You can't live and expect people to sell 20 cars a month because you sold 20 cars a month. You can get there, you can empower them to, but check your ego. I mean, if you sold 20 cars a month and you were that good, then why are you in a leadership position? Why wouldn't you take the less stress? Why wouldn't you take the less hours? Why wouldn't you take the less beatings? I mean, if you were really that good, I mean, show it or shut up. Check your ego at the door. I think that's number one. I
like it.
And the other tidbit I've got is empowerment. Lead on your feet, not in your seat. Don't be afraid to get out there and take a turn as far as a manager. Get involved early and often. And take that pressure off your salespeople. One of my favorite lines that I love to as I introduce customers, I always let them know that, you know, if I was your manager and I was to come out and talk to your customer, bring you out a bottle of water on a hot day out on that blacktop and say, hey, Matt, you know, I'm Matt's manager. My name's Justin Schroeder. You know, as long as you're with Matt, you know, he's only got a couple of responsibilities, and that's to make sure that he finds you the right vehicle, he does it in a timely manner, and he provides you the best customer service and sale you've ever had. The pricing and the trade values and all that stuff, that falls back on my shoulders. So all I can ask you during this time is that you just let Matt make sure he finds you the right vehicle. Does that sound fair enough?
I love it, man. That is so simple, so straightforward. I don't even know what to say. That, I mean, it's just,
you lead on your feet.
That's incredible.
Seat,
it's simple. It's simple. It's effective. You're being as transparent as possible, which in our industry, you have to be.
Absolutely.
That's what people want. People want that transparency. They don't want, you know, the back and forth, or, you know, the ask more to get more, like in the 70s and 80s in the manager glory days.
Right. I think not only does the customer want it, they deserve it. They 100% deserve it. Transparency in this day and age, man, the internet's full of everything. You have one bad experience, you get one bullshit answer, and you're done. They're on to the next dealership. And if you're not able to provide that level of transparency, and you can't live up and back up to your word, if you say that, you know, nobody will beat our deal, then you better be able to back that up. If you say that you provide that best level of customer service, you better provide that best level of customer service. And I think that starts at the top and transcends down through the bottom. And, you know, it's a snowball effect, and it goes both ways, both positive and negative. Positive energy, man, smiles. You ever smiled at somebody that's having a bad day and they just look back and smile at you?
Absolutely. It's contagious.
It is. Smiling is absolutely contagious. And I got a messed up grill and an ugly mug, man, but I can still make people smile.
That's why I wear a hat and sunglasses. Helps cover up my face.
Right, brother. Hey, I'm like 6 months from you, man. I'll be joining you here soon in the Ball Head Club. But, man, those are just my two tidbits. Lead on your feet, not on your seat, and check your ego at the door. And you're going to find that when you do those two things, you lead by example, you get out there, you empower your people, you make them believe so much in themselves, they'll do anything for you. And check your ego at the door, because nobody's got room for that. Plus, how are you supposed to fit your head through the door when your head's this big, you know?
That's right. So with this, with you working on this and coming up, do you have a time frame where you're going to be doing a full release, or are you doing just kind of a scheduled release with a few topics, or just centrally located around your dealership?
I'm going to be going as far as 4th. I've given myself my time frame. It's going to be a full release. I'm not looking to get rich by any means. I'm just looking to make people's lives better, because I've had great leadership and I've had bad leadership, and I know how it affects you when you go home at the end of the day and how you carry that baggage with you. And you know, I'm not here to charge an arm and a leg. I'm just here to make people better. That's all, and make everybody else's life better through different facets, like I said, of the leadership. And as I build this, it's going to be one big course launch. And
Okay.
you know, I'm going to have that spread out. You know, I'll be of course Facebook ads, Instagram, everything else. But as I start to proceed forward with this, it's going to be an impact, and a lot of people's feelings are going to get hurt, and I know that. But in order for change, there has to be some level of pain. And for most of these guys that have an ego, it's going to be figuring out how to get past that ego. Some people will learn, some people want to change, some won't. That's not my problem. That's on them.
That's awesome, man. I love it. I love it. I can't wait. Is there anything else that you want to add before we start to wrap things up here?
I just want to add, like I said, I appreciate you. I appreciate you bringing me on with you today. Thank you for trusting me with your viewers, and stay tuned. It's about to get real.
Awesome, man. I love it. So before we go, this is Car Confessions. I ask every guest to give some type of confession, good, bad, or ugly, whatever you would like to share.
All right. Car Confessions. When I worked in the Harley-Davidson world, before I transcended over to the auto world, one of the biggest sales I ever had was close to $20,000 front and back. And what I mean by that was the front end gross of the deal and the back end gross of the deal. And this guy was the happiest guy in the world. He was the happiest customer I've ever had. So here's the good part of the confession. What he didn't do is he didn't tell us that he was going through divorce with his wife and why he was buying the motorcycle. Here I am thinking this guy's like got it made, buying almost $80,000 worth of motorcycle and gear and everything else, only to show up 2 weeks later and say, "Justin, you saved our marriage." And I looked at him, I said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "I came in here and I bought this motorcycle. I was just an idea. And you had told me that this motorcycle would change my life. And at the time I was facing divorce, a wife that didn't love me because we had no common bond. We'd grown so far apart that I forgot what it was to be a husband." And he comes back and he tells me that with his wife, looks me dead square in the eyes and says, "Thank you. We haven't gotten on this bike together, and this is the most time we've spent together last 2 weeks that we've had the last 10 years of our marriage." And still to this day, they remain great friends. They're still on Facebook. We still talk. We still contact. So my confession is, you have the ability to change somebody's life for good or bad. That's up to you.
That's awesome, man. I love that. That has got to be one of the strongest, most powerful stories and confessions that I've heard from one of my guests. Thank you so much for sharing that with me and with all the viewers. Thank you guys so much for watching. That's going to do it for episode number 44, interview with Justin Schroeder, finance manager extraordinaire, doing some big things and making some things happening. Justin, thank you so much again for jumping on here with me.
Thank you, Matt. We'll talk soon.
All right, thanks, guys. Matt in the hat, John North Ford, Lincoln Nissan here in Emporia. Remember, I do this because your experience matters. Take care, guys. Carry on.